Welcome to this presentation on foreign capital importation into Nigeria. The inflow of foreign investment capital is crucial for growth, and Nigeria has a framework to regulate, monitor, and protect such investments. In this section, we will cover what foreign capital importation means, the legal and regulatory authorities involved, the process, especially obtaining an e-certificate of capital importation, repatriation rules, challenges, practical tips, and case studies. I will walk you through the entire journey from beginning in funding to ensuring you can take your returns out of Nigeria. Let's now move over to the slides for more interactive session. Okay, we will start the slides by addressing this very important question before us. What is a foreign capital importation? What does it entail? Foreign capital importation refers to when investors inject capital from abroad into Nigeria. These could be in the form of equity, that's shares, or it could be loans or debt, or even in kind items like machineries or equipment that is brought into Nigeria because of its non-availability. But you cannot just wire money and forget about it. The rule requires that all foreign capital inflows must come through an authorized dealer banks, that is, banks licensed to handle foreign exchange. The bank in turn is responsible for registering the inflow with the Central Bank of Nigeria, and they are also responsible for issuing a certificate of capital importation to the investor. This simply means that you, the investor, you don't have any interaction with the CBN. It is your authorized dealer bank that will have to be an intermediary between you and the Central Bank of Nigeria with regards to the issuance of a certificate of capital importation. This registration is critical for ensuring your right to repatriate profit, dividends, loans, and capital in future. That's if you actually have the intention of sending back the profit that you have made. It's very important that you bring in the funds, the investment funds, through an authorized dealer bank. Okay, we'll now take a look at the key regulatory or institutional players with regards to capital importation into Nigeria from a foreign bank. Several agencies play critical roles in capital importation. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, sets foreign exchange regulations and oversees the issuance of certificate of capital importation in Nigeria. The Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, on the other hand, handles investment registration and guarantees on repatriation, among other protections. The authorized dealer banks are pivotal. They receive the foreign funds, that's the funds the investor is bringing into Nigeria. The bank will receive it, and also the bank has the responsibility to submit the requisite documentations to the CBN. So it's not you that the investor will have to do that. It is the bank that will do that on your behalf. And also, it is the bank that will issue the certificate of capital importation to the investor. In addition, depending on the industry, be it oil and gas or telecom, several relevant sectoral regulators or ministries might require approvals before the capital can be deployed. So it's very important that you know the expectation of the sector or the supervisory ministry, the expectation of the supervisory ministry with regards to the capital that you have brought into Nigeria for investment purpose. Okay, let's now address the legal and policy basis. The regulatory foundation for foreign capital importation includes multiple legal instruments. The Central Bank of Nigeria Foreign Exchange Manual, particularly Memorandum 20, details how capital importation and repatriation should be handled. That's if you want to have an in-depth understanding of how capital importation and, most importantly, repatriation of funds should handle, you have to take note of Memorandum 20 so that you have a robust understanding of what it entails. The NIPC Act, on the other hand, gives rights and protections to foreign investors, including the requirement for enterprise with foreign participation to register and guarantees for capital transfers. The key word here, foreign participation, you should know simply means when a foreigner acquires shares in any Nigerian company. It's different from when a foreigner becomes a director, because most people mistake directorship for foreign participation. They are different things. Foreign participation simply means you've acquired shares in a Nigerian company, so you are participating in Nigerian investment environment, as against being an employee of the company in being a director, which is an employee of the company. Also, the Foreign Exchange Monitoring and Miscellaneous Provisions Act provides legal backing for regulating capital flows. Under Nigerian policy, there is a free entry, free exit principle. I repeat, free entry, free exit principle, provided you comply with registration and documentation. You can bring in capital and repatriate the proceeds, but it's very important that you comply with registration and documentation. Then let's now take a look at what a capital certificate of capital importation means. What does it entail? A certificate of capital importation is the official document proving that foreign capital, which can be in the form of equity, shares, loans, or qualifying in-kind investment, was brought into Nigeria lawfully. Because most times people move cash illegally for different purposes. So if you want to establish the fact that the funds that you are bringing into Nigeria is legit, it's very important that you pass through these means. It is critical in that without it, you may lose rights to repatriate profits or capital. Since 11th September 2017, the Central Bank of Nigeria transitioned to electronic certificate of capital importation only. Hard copies are no longer acceptable. The authorized dealer bank uses the central bank's electronic platform to issue the certificate of capital importation. This modernization is intended to speed up issuance, increase transparency, and reduce fraud, which is a problem in Nigeria. Then it's now time for us to take a look at the requisite documents for you to have a successful application for an electronic certificate of capital importation. The document required depends on whether this capital is a cash equity, loan, or in kind for machinery importation. Some common requirements are: 1. A formal letter requesting certificate of capital importation. Another requirement is a board resolution from the local company authorizing the foreign investment. And companies speak through board resolution. So if a company wants to indicate interest in bringing in foreign funds into Nigeria, it is a board resolution that will have to take care of that need. The company's certificate of incorporation is also a prerequisite. Then the SWIFT or telex confirmation showing the inflow is another key requirement. You must also provide investor identity or registration data, the sector of operation, business nature, and in case of machinery or equipment, it's very important that you provide the import invoices or relevant documents that your authorized bank will ask for. These evidence help the bank and CBN verify that the capital inflow is genuine and compliant, that you are not bringing in capital in order to fund any other thing apart from business, because most people bring in funds in order to fund terrorism. So it's very important you establish the fact that my funds that I'm bringing into Nigeria is specifically for business, so that when you are repatriating your profits, there won't be any issue whatsoever. Then let's now take a look at the process steps for foreign capital importation. What are those steps that you have to take in order for you to have a successful application? Here is how to bring foreign capital legally and properly into Nigeria. Firstly, you have to ensure your company is already incorporated via the Corporate Affairs Commission. If there is foreign participation, that some of the shareholders are foreigners or all the shares are owned by foreign individuals, then it's important you register with the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC. After you have done that, then the next step will now be for you to open a domiciliary bank account in Nigeria for the foreign currency. Mind you, before you can be able to do this, you must have come into Nigeria to process a bank verification number and a national identification number. But if you don't have, if you are not yet in Nigeria, the best thing that you have to do in this instance, in order for you to be able to open a domiciliary bank account, which you will have to bring in the foreign currency, is to nominate Nigerians who will act as the directors with regards to opening the bank account pending when you will come into Nigeria via an expatriate quota, which will culminate to an STR visa and a resident permit. So it's very important that you take note of this so that you can be able to open a bank account where the foreign currency will be lodged into. And then you have to now transfer your capital or bring in the machinery through that bank that you have opened. Then you submit your documentations as per what I have explained earlier to the bank. The bank will now upload your application to the CBN e-certificate of capital importation system. Once validated, the bank issues you an e-certificate of capital importation. So the bank acts as an intermediary between you and the CBN. You don't interface with the CBN. The bank does that on your behalf. So finally, you have to inform NIPC and any relevant regulator to activate related incentives or approvals, provided you have complied with the expectations of the Nigerian financial law. Okay, let's now take a look at the timing, turnaround, and service standards. CBN's guidelines and service charters expect that once a bank receives a fully compliant set of documentation, the e-certificate of capital importation should be issued within 1 working day or 24 hours. But in actual practice, delays tend to occur when documentation is incomplete, names or figures mismatches, or sectoral approval is required. So to minimize delays, you have to stay in close contact with your bank so that you can be able to respond to any queries raised immediately. And also, very importantly, you have to pre-check your document package before you submit it to your bank, so that your bank will not upload the wrong documents. Very important. Okay, we have been talking about repatriation and divestment of foreign capital. Let's now take a more detailed look at repatriation. One of the most important benefits of importing capital under the e-certificate of capital importation regime is free repatriation rights. Once you have the e-certificate of capital importation, you can repatriate dividends, profits, rent, royalties, interest on foreign loans, or even your capital when you sell out or divest. You are no longer interested in the business you are doing in Nigeria, you want to leave. It's very important that you get your capital, your initial capital, into Nigeria through the electronic certificate of capital importation, so that when you want to sell off and repatriate your profit, everything will still go through the same process back to your country. However, these transfers must comply with tax laws, withholding tax rules, and documentary proof. For instance, to repatriate dividends, you must often need a tax clearance certificate and provide evidence that the initial capital was brought under an electronic certificate of capital importation. So it's very important that you do the right thing from the beginning, so that you won't have issues when you actually want to reap the benefit from the investment that you have made in Nigeria. Okay, we'll now take a look at the guarantees and protections for foreign investors. Nigeria's laws offers several protections to foreign investors. The NIPC Act allows 100% foreign ownership in permitted sectors, excluding those in the negative list. So, a foreigner can decide to own all the shares in the Nigerian company. It does not matter. Initially, what happened is that you can own 99.9% and just drop that 0.1% for a Nigerian. But now, everything has changed. A foreigner can own everything. So if you wish to own 100% of all the shares, you are allowed to do that by virtue of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Act. Investors are protected against arbitrary expropriation, except where national interest dictates, and only with fair compensation. So if your company is being taken over due to the fact that it is in the national interest, fair compensation will have to be accorded to you. So you don't have any fear whatsoever in investing in Nigeria. You will get all that you invested. Even if the government is taking over your investment, fair compensation will definitely accrue to you. They also enjoy rights to legal redress via Nigerian court. So if there is any need for you to get anything that someone owes you through the Nigerian court, your right is guaranteed in Nigeria. However, these protections depend on compliance. That is, if you, an investor, fails to observe the rules with regards to not obtaining an certificate of capital importation, you may lose your claim to these protections. So I will still repeat, it's very important that you do the right thing from the very beginning. Once you are coming into Nigeria to invest, make sure that your funds are brought in through an authorized dealer, so that if anyone is owing you, you can go to any court and seek redress in order for you to get your money back. Any debt that is owed to you, you can go to the court and say, okay, I brought in my funds through an authorized dealer and someone is owing me. Please, court, help me in order to get these funds back. The court will give you an audience and you will not be able to get your funds back. So the key word, do the right thing. First, bring in your funds through an authorized dealer so that you get your certificate of capital importation, which will grant you all the protection that you need. Okay, let's now take a look at some challenges, risks, and common pitfalls that you need to avoid. Despite the legal framework, many investors face practical hurdles. Common pitfalls include missing or inconsistent documents, delay at the bank or CBN, mismatches in names or addresses, and slow sectoral regulator clearances such as telecom or energy. Also, regulatory shifts in foreign exchange policy or volatility can affect timing and approval. So, to mitigate this risk, you have to engage a competent legal or financial advisor to help you to navigate the documentation phase. And also, you have to double check your document. You yourself, you have to double check your documents to know exactly if what is being presented to your bank is indeed what ought to be presented to them. And also, you have to maintain a proactive communication with all parties so that you will know if there is need for you to comply to any query, so that you do the needful as at when due, so that you have your certificate of capital importation within the expected time frame. Okay, let's now take a look at the practical checklist for investors. Okay, the checklist is on your screen, and my notes simply states that you have to incorporate your company and register with NIPC if there is a foreign participation. Then after you have done that, the next thing you have to do is that open a domiciliary account, which you now use to lodge in your foreign currency. After that has been done, then the next will now be for you to transfer your capital through an authorized dealer bank. Then you have to prepare documentations which you will have to file through your bank, which includes letters, board resolutions, SWIFT proof, company documents, import invoices if applicable. That's if you are bringing in mercenaries into Nigeria. And then the next would now be for you to submit to the bank with a formal request for an e-certificate of capital importation. Just like we mentioned earlier, your bank will now have to act as an intermediary between you and CBN so that you can be able to get your e-certificate of capital importation. Then you have to also notify NIPC or any sector regulator as needed to keep tabs on progress and follow up regularly to have a successful application. Okay, let's now take a look at a scenario that I've painted in order for you to have a practical understanding of what we have been saying all this while. For example, a foreign investor forms a company known as Green Energy Limited in Nigeria, and that's the permitted under a permitted sector under the energy sector. Then the foreigner intends to bring in the sum of $2 million into Nigeria. Then what the foreigner will have to do is first and foremost incorporate with the Corporate Affairs Commission. And since there is a foreign participation, the next thing will now be for the subscribers to the shares of Green Energy to register with NIPC. Once they have done that, they will now have to submit documentations which include board resolutions, SWIFT inflow evidence, identity, etc. via their authorized dealer banks. Then after that, the bank uploads and issues an e-certificate of capital importation within 24 hours. So over time, Green Energy Limited operates, earns profits, pays dividends, and later repatriates part of the capital, all backed by the e-certificate of capital importation and compliant documents. So you can see how Green Energy have succeeded in the process of bringing the sum of $2 million into Nigeria, and they must have made profit on that sum. Then based on the fact that it was brought into e-certificate of capital importation, they can also repatriate it back to their country of origin without any issue. Okay, in summary, importing foreign capital into Nigeria is not a free-for-all thing. You must pass through authorized dealer bank, register via the e-certificate of ECCI system, and comply with regulatory rules. The e-certificate of capital importation is your proof and ticket to legally repatriate profit, dividends, and capital. Because why are you bringing in capital into Nigeria? It's basically to make profit and dividends. So if you make profit and dividend, it's for you to send it back to your country of origin after you must have been taxed. So it's better for you to, I repeat, do the right thing from the beginning so that you will not have issues when you want to repatriate your funds, your profit back to your country of origin. NIPC and other protections offer comfort, but only if you meet all compliance requirements. I repeat, only if you meet all compliance requirements. So why don't you meet all compliance requirements so that you have the protections that you need? The difference between success and denial of lies in document integrity, follow-up, and regulatory diligence. So make sure you have all these three intact so that you will succeed. Thank you for staying with me through this deep dive into foreign capital importation in Nigeria. If you have any questions about how to structure investment, how to prepare your document package, how to deal with regulatory queries or timeline expectation, please leave them in the comment section of this video. Alternatively, you can message me through the ICA official WhatsApp line, which is on the screen, and I promise to personally respond in order for you to succeed in your application. For more personalized consultations, for the guidance and additional resources on foreign capital importation into Nigeria, you can visit our website to access detailed guides, case studies, and expert insights designed to keep you informed of the latest regulatory updates and best practices. You can also partner with us to leverage our deep industry knowledge and take the next step towards foreign capital importation into Nigeria. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to download this presentation for your future reference. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more valuable content such as this one. Thank you.